Okay, welcome back to our video series on Neverwinter. Remember, this whole series is really designed for people who maybe aren't hardcore gamers, or think about playing Neverwinter. Maybe they're big fans of my YouTube channel where we talk about Dungeons & Dragons, Classic Traveler, Paizo's, Pathfinder, etc. And I really want to equip you with stuff so you can have a lot of fun. So if you're already a Neverwinter player, you're probably going to be like, hey, I already know all this stuff. But if you think about playing a game, there's a lot of subtle details that I'm going to talk about that aren't just about play this build and have this mythic gear and all that kind of crap that you'll see from a lot of YouTube dudes. All right, so we have, we have a theme today. So this one is the starter area we talked about with a brand new character on a brand new account with no astral diamonds, nothing, right? Just don't even have VIP or anything. We're going to run through the first little area, tutorial area, and do the first tutorial combat sequence so we can talk about movement, animation, timing, range detection, aiming, target selection, cooldowns and synergies, hotkeys. We've already got that kind of talked over in the last video, but it'll help us understand distancing by looking at our hotkeys. We'll talk about defensive things you could do with denial areas, how the shift dodge mechanic works, how you can do what's called a step away with timing of enemy animations to avoid being hit, and target priority with and without cover. We'll talk about healing, we'll talk about auto turn, press and hold, and how you really shouldn't be a block of hit points in this game. The main gameplay twist to Neverwinter is when you use an ability, you're going to commit to not moving, right? Remember our auto run button, so we're running around here, and we've got an ability here bound to key home that we can shoot against this test dummy. The moment I press that ability, right, I'm no longer auto running. I pulled up and stopped and shot the ability. If you're pressing and holding forward and moving around and you shoot that ability, you're going to move after you're done. So a majority of the abilities in the game require you to pull up and stop. And because of that, you need to think about when's a good time to pull up and stop. And I've got enemies jumping in my face. I got an ability with a ramp up time. This first little basic encounter with these zombies coming out of the ground is a good example of that. They're coming out of the ground. They're going to be slow moving. It's going to give me a chance to figure out what I want to do. You can use this first ability to start shooting them, and they're all going to start running towards you, right? This is what you don't want to do in this game. You don't want to stand still and get hit and start shooting guys and turning to shoot this guy. Now, this is tutorial level stuff, so you're not going to take a lot of damage, right? But this is not what you want to do. What you want to do is make sure you take advantage of range, play to the strengths of what your character can do, do things that your other classes try to do to avoid being hit, besides just always shifting away and then pulling up and shooting. Even the basic attack requires you to pull up and shoot. And right now, the way the game is set up is the moment you get out of combat, you will start regenerating health. So if you don't have to pound potions unless you're actually in a fight and taking a lot of damage. Believe me, when you get to higher levels, even in some of the other stuff we're going to do in the first two campaigns, if you allow yourself to get hit a lot, you're going to get damaged. And you don't want to run around and keep buying and chugging potions all the time. It's not like Diablo 2. So what you want to do instead is take advantage of timing of when to move and when to shoot, and where are you in relation to where the enemies are, and what abilities do you have to take advantage of things. For example, we have our leap away ability, and we have the shift ability. Leap away abilities like this. Right? This is what we got bound to our home key, and we have a snare button. So right now we already got two CC abilities that we can use on enemies. Remember this golden thing? It looks like a cone. Here's what it's actually showing to you. We bound M to the map. It's showing you that this area here is where this quest is, okay? You can hit Q on your keyboard and read the current quest. And we probably should talk about this real quick too. It's called Fight to the Bridge. They give you a little description. You get a reward. You can see ahead of time, I'm going to get a pair of gloves. I'll get a little money. You can see on the mini-map that it's this area right here. Even says Fight Through the Woods. That's the name of the quest itself here, right? It may say Valindra's Siege, which is a main story quest, but the one you're doing right now is called this. It's underneath the Valindra's Siege concept, if that makes any damn sense. So you can see which way you're facing, right? I'm facing this. Let's go up here. We're facing this, pop M, and you can see this is your character, this is the campfire, this is Fog of War. You haven't discovered this yet, but you can tell you're going to go through this area here before you get to the next part. So we come through here, we're going to have enemies that spawn on top of us. We can do things like leap away, use our snare ability on one of these guys here, and then start doing our big, frontal cone area effect ability. And by that time, look down here at my leap away move. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, one. It could snare this guy. You could snare this guy too. And you can actually turn this way, leap back this way, and pop this guy once, pop this guy once or twice, and no one touched me. And it was fun. You know, while I'm shooting, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll just turn this way and leap that way. You know, what you don't want to do is just stand still and just, you know, attack in place and get damage all the time. Now this is not going to burn you or anything. You just go through here. Now, you don't need to fight the rest of these enemies, okay? You could skip all this and get to the next section. These guys are here fighting other enemies, other guards and stuff to give you a chance to, you know, tell you the truth, dick around with your abilities and see which one you like. For example, you can shoot this ability, say, okay, that hit for 1.18k. What's my regular little shot hit for? So we'll go come out of this. The guards are going to kind of mesh up. You see 625, 1.25, 430, 280, 860. Now notice these little markers you'll see when you're hitting things. When you hit enemies and it has a yellow sword, right, it's like you're doing normal damage. But when you hit them and you crit, it does a different look. And when you hit them kind of like behind, when they're flat-footed, it has this little arrow behind it that points behind it. There's a particular name for it. I've forgotten what the hell it's called. I forgot what's it called. What's it called? There's a name for the shit. I can't remember what it's called. They got a funny name for it. Anyway, we're going to go through here. And these... the enemies that spawn this area, you don't really need to worry about them. There's some of them up ahead too. You have more of this going on. So if you want to try practicing leaping away and shooting enemies and try to do this kind of stuff, it's a good way if you start learning. Now remember, when we get ready to pull up and shoot, even if we shoot just this regular shot, we can't move. I'm pressing the backward key. I can't move yet, right? And so if you just stay there, these guys are going to catch up to you and damage you. So when you're playing a range class or playing a caster, you really don't want to get hit. Right, you can just use the shift move to move around, pull them to guards if you want to. Use your leap away ability to leap further away. So you can use just these simple two little abilities and the two little at-wills to do some interesting movements. Now, why do we talk about that crap as if it's high philosophy? Because you want to be able to play your character class, taking advantage of what your character class does. That's why different character classes have different, you know, dodge abilities. Different character classes have different ranged abilities. In this class here, this ranger, we're going to end up being able to switch between ranged with a bow and using melee. Okay, so this is a typical quest thing. Talk to this guy. You'll see a lot of quests do this. They like the camera will pull in and the guy says, I'm ready. When it's orange, that means you're ready to go to the next section. There's a little cutscene here. I'm just going to let it play for the video.
It's time to put an end to this beast.
I mean, it looked like a Draco Lich dragon, and this dude just happened to have a pea shooter one that knocked him down. You can hit escape to skip this. All right, so let me turn that volume up a little bit on these guys, and we can hear that stuff a little bit better. So I've got it turned down, the voice volume. Let's put that up a little bit higher, and let it play here and here. So you can see on the mini map here what you got to do next. You got to go to here, follow Makos. That's the name of the NPC. The little sparkle trails, which are really cute and really pretty, the little blue and gold. You need to follow that. You will take falling damage as you fall in this game. You can see you take a little damage, but remember you'll generate health. And in the early days when you don't have any healing potions, this thing here, these campfires, you can heal at those. Now you see a bunch more skeletons that popped up out of the ground, and as I mouse over them, you can see which one has which health bars visible. You can get away from them. I'm going to go down here to Makos. He's got a little event. He wants me to protect him while we defend against all these skeletons. Now, you don't actually have to do this at all. This is only like a 1 minute timer. You can come back on the back side and just kill the guys that are hassling you, and you don't have to deal with it at all. And more will spawn, but you don't need to fight them all. Just wait for the timer to go up. If you look in the upper hand corner, you see 16, 15, 14. There's just a little timer. It doesn't matter whether you defeat X number of them or not, because he's going to destroy them once everything gets blown up. And you can just skip all this, right? But we wanted to use this as an example to kind of talk about like what's going on. You follow the little trail to get up here to the next quest objective, and then we get to the little dragon bridge where you have a more interesting fight against kind of a boss character. And you can just skip these dudes here. Did you hear that drum sound? Boom. This is one way you can figure out whether you're in combat or not. If you play World of Warcraft, you know if you use SCT or any kind of mixed scrolling combat text, or even Warhammer, you know, standing around, I'm not in combat, right? If I go out here, you listen for the drum sound. Hear that boom? That means I'm in combat. See, the character's moving around like in a fighter stance now, with his knees bent, ready to shoot and do things. So when you're in combat, that's something you'll realize. You're running around and something's aggroed on you, but it doesn't mean you have to stop and go fight them. You can still move around. Your movement rate's a little bit slower, but not too much. So the reticle is really interesting. We talked about that previously. You know, looking at nothing, it's white. Looking at NPCs, it's blue. Looking at enemies, it's red. And so you can tell if you have a good target on something. And you'll also find that, like, you know, you can sort of kind of target off of something and it will auto-correct what you're aiming at. For example, let's go up here. There's the guys up here. We can just aim over here, and my character's going to pull the bow out and start shooting at it. He slipped. He kind of pivoted to the left to start shooting these guys, even though they're not taking damage. That's one thing about this stuff. It's pretty forgiving when it comes to, like, I've got a mouse over on the guy, and I can move all the way over to here. And if I shoot, I'm actually going to, like, auto-correct the shot. Watch this. Auto-correct the shot to him. Auto-correct the shot to him. See how I'm, like, pivoting in place? So it makes it very easy for you. You don't have to be like in a shooter and shoot right at the guy's leg. You can shoot, just kind of get the little red reticle to highlight like that, and you'll pivot and start hitting things. And you just hold the mouse button down to shoot for the auto attack ability, right? Okay, now you don't need to kill any of these guys. You can just skip it and get out of here. And let's go hand this in to Celeste. She appears in the game a number of other times too. She's like a quest cleric.
Undead at bay. We are holding the line here while we treat the wounded.
Remember me talking about F9? How I'm running off and she's still over there talking to something directly in front of her that's not there. F9 will shut her up. I mean, it's great to have the voice acting, but this is something in the game history I could go off on a tangent about for an hour. Okay, this is something new you've never seen before. You see this, I've got a quest, hit Q. Belligerent undead horde are pushing the very hard Neverwinter. Sergeant Knox and Neverwinter Guard are doing all they can to need to help. Fight to the bridge. Next objective up here is head to the bridge. All right. She told me where to go. If you open the M map, go to the Sleeping Dragon Bridge, and then right here is where you want to go to. You can click on the map and make your own point that will make your own little trail. Very useful when you're trying to find something. It's also very useful, you'll see as we start doing some of the campaign quests, to pick a quest and highlight it and put a point pretty close to it. Like, put a point like right there, and I know how to get close enough to where I'm going to go. You see the white particles that are kind of going up and down, like little dust motes or wisps? This is an interactive object. And so interactive objects, you see how it had this like door icon? See right here. See how it has like the reticle has a little door icon, but it's gray. That means I'm not close enough. If I try to use my delete key, it doesn't do anything. When I move close enough in range, it will highlight and it'll tell me the key that I bound. Press delete to travel, which means you're going to go through this door and transition into a new zone.
They're in trouble! We must go to their aid!
It's funny, when this game first came out, they used to have this like loser character with you, and over the years, when they changed it to kind of like a 4th edition vibe in 2014, they put this Makos. What's the name of this race? I never played it. It's one of those like half demon races. These guys are all over Baldur's Gate 3. Right. So remember the objective: cross the bridge. It usually highlights there. You can hit your map. Need to go to this spot. You know, go to this spot. Anything along the way, just do what you want. Do what you think is best. Stuff's bombing from the sky. This is supposed to be, you know, Neverwinter up ahead, the city. So we're going to run across here. Guys are spawned behind us. We need to get rid of them. They won't run away. They won't go away and we can get rid of them. You can like leap away from them. And they're pretty easy to kill. You're not really going to take a lot of damage from this stuff. And remember, if you do in the early days, not very good at moving, and you get damaged a lot, as long as you don't die, as soon as you get out of combat, you're going to get your health regenerated a few seconds out of combat. Here, in fact, we'll just stand here like an idiot and take some damage. Let me go over here and just stand here. You guys hit me. We're not taking a lot of damage, but we're getting hit a little bit. And if you wonder how many hit points you have, you can use your mouse cursor and put it over your character sheet. And it says, I have like 55,000 hit points. My item level is already 5,000. They start high, and it goes from there. So let's get rid of these two guys. Now, look at the scrolling combat text on my screen. 8K. So I got an 8K heal. My health regeneration right here. Your health regen gives you blah, blah, blah hit points. Now, if you wanted to, you can go over here and go to combat and say, okay, where is there healing in here? Can I check the healing? We say combat self in. It's all set to white. Combat self. We could try changing this color to green. No, it changed everything we did into green. So we can leave it at white. So we can't really tell heals versus damage output by coloring the text. All right. So we're going to go up here. We'll use our range. Well, let's talk about range. That's a good point. Talk about that. So let's get rid of these dudes real quick. And let's talk about range. Okay, so you have situations where you can mouse over an enemy, by pointing at this guy. That's cool. And you can see his name. I've got my settings set up in my UI to only highlight the character that I want to see. Let's go to HUD here, and you can see some of the things I have set. Let's make this big, because I want to explain this to you guys who maybe want to try to make your HUD look like mine, right? The buff scale and the class mechanic, in and out of combat, transparency, opacity, that's up to you. Show both health percentages, I have that off. Player titles, yeah, sure. Show players damage floaters. Now, mouse over the word, visually represent as a rising text when you are the source of target of the damage, right? Show companion damage floaters, that's okay. You might want to leave your show party damage floaters. I think you should turn that off. And show player damage floaters. So it says up here, this is very funny. Show players possessive damage floaters. That's you. Show player damage floaters. That's other people. Turn those off. Show others damage. Turn that off. Show enemy healing floaters. Sure, we want to know when the enemies are healed. Show created entity floaters, like if you summon some enemies or something like that. Show player triggered power names. Sure, that's fine. Hide tray tooltips. Let's put that off. Show enemy name. Mouse over and targeted. Show enemy life. Targeted, recently damaged. The recently damaged thing is nice because you are attacking one guy, but you can't see the other health bars when they're full health this way. That way, if you have like 3 dudes in front of you and the one you're targeting and beating on, if you're using single target stuff, you can see their health bar go down, but there's 2 dudes to your left and one of them's really low. You'll see them because they're now recently damaged. For example, show friendly NPC names. Mouse over and targeted. I don't like everything on the screen to always be up and showing their names. If I'm running through town, I kind of learn where everyone is. I don't need to see that. Show friendly NPC life. Never. And how do you get that turned on? So you can have it as mouse over, right? Or targeted. So mouse over and targeted, or target of target, or recently damaged. But if you uncheck all of these, it becomes never. Right? Neverwinter, right? So show your friend names. Always show my friend names. Mouse over and targeted or recently damaged. Show the guild name, party name, companion name, player name. I don't like to see other players' names all the time. Enemy player names. Show your name. Never. I don't like to see my name over my head. So this is the enemy name and enemy life is target and recently damaged and mouse over and targeted. That makes a really good way for you to tell, right? So I can tell this is a skeleton undead soldier. I'm going to damage him. I'm not in range, right? Remember the sound effect we talked about? He's out of range. Even though this is highlighted, in my home ability to leap back doesn't require a target. See the ability down here that's the not strafe, but the little root ability? Am I in range to use that on him? No, it's grayed out. See how this is grayed out down here? So we get in range, things will light up. There we go. There we go. Right there. You see there on the interface how both the at-will powers are lit up now? The range is 80 feet. The range of that one's 80 feet. The range of this one's 80 feet. This one doesn't really have a range because it's going to move me. So you can see my abilities here are 80 feet. So I'm in range to like start shooting these guys. So I can snare him, and let's get all these guys damaged. We leap away. That guy's dead. This guy's dead. And let's just pop this guy and get him dead too. Now the little zombies are bad AI. It's just running towards you. It's not that confusing of an AI. But later on, you'll find a situation. Let's just kill ourselves. Sorry, they won't let you. Later on, you'll find situations where different types of enemies like leap at you, charge you, all kinds of cool stuff. So let's get rid of these guys. And we can leap away if we want to and shoot this guy. We got this Makos guy tanking for us, basically. We just shoot these guys with a basic attack. If you see the little green puff on the basic attack, it's because of this ability here. Rapid shot, quickly fire an arrow at your enemy. Why it does the little green puff doesn't really make a lot of sense. Now, we want to do the area effect ability and capture all these guys. Notice how my character turned to pick the guy that's closely... Now, see how I can see that 2 guys are now damaged? One of them I got a name over, and one of them I don't. So this guy's damaged. Let's damage him too. Okay? Now, at a glance, just running around, I can see I've got 2 targets damaged. They help me decide who to shoot. Let's get rid of him because he's low on health, and then get rid of him. That's the best way to set that up, in my personal opinion. You don't really want to see a bunch of health bars that are full all the time. So when you go back to HUD, right, and you're going back to target, show enemy name, show enemy life. Mouse over and targeted, so it doesn't show it unless you are hovering over them. And it only shows their life if they've been targeted or recently damaged. That's really, really, really useful. Okay. So we got a kind of a named guy up here. He's just a little wizard type dude. He's going to do some point blank area effect abilities. We got some other dumb zombies. Let's damage these guys and get them all damaged. And we can see how many are damaged. That'll help us figure out who we want to get rid of. Let's get rid of him. This caster wants to try to do something to us yet. Nope. Get rid of these guys. These guys are down. Let's pop him with a snare. It does a lot of damage. Now, he's targeted the ground. Did you see that? This is called a denial area, in my opinion. When he's targeting single target burning spells on me, watch this. It'll always hit me. No way for me to get away from it, right? I can use line of sight to make him not see me and miss. So he's going to start shooting and nuking him. If he wants to do a area effect ability, he could do that, and it'll be a big red symbol on the ground. It's like a ground like that. See this red symbol? You have enough time usually to dodge out of those kinds of things in the game. Let's pop him with another snare. It hits pretty hard, and we'll just get rid of him pretty quickly here. So, I mean, this is tutorial, right? This isn't, like, amazing. It's just showing you that's the first time you've encountered kind of like a ranged point-blank area effect centered on you and a ranged spell that will follow you and hit you unless you've completely line-of-sighted. If you haven't line-of-sighted the enemy, he's going to hit you. So if you're out in the open and you're jumping around, maybe if you I-frame, which is called invulnerability frame, maybe if you dodge, that ability wouldn't hit you. Okay, so we have a skeletal undead knight. He's out of range. I'll pop him with a snare. Let's put one big hit on here. We want to avoid his charge ability, right? Now, here's another thing. Notice how he's not advertising like there's a line of sight. That's a charge ability. He's going to go that way, right? But watch his animations, right? Now, Makos is nuking him. So he's looking. Okay, he sees me, and he's pulling up to do a big hit, and then he misses, and I can move over here, and I can actually dodge out of the way of some of these bigger abilities. You can read the animations, kind of like you would in some Dark Souls and some of those other kind of games, but it's much more simplified. But you definitely, when you throw a big red marker like this, you definitely want to avoid those things. If I let it hit me, it'll probably knock me down and do a lot of damage, right? Let's get back over here. Let's see if we'll do another one of these charge abilities. I'll let him hit me. So you can see, like, usually, he just hit me for 1k there. Okay, let's let him hit me with this. Boom, he trampled me, right? Knocked me down, I got to get back up. And now the horse is separated from him, so I'm going to pop him with a snare. And I'm just going to spam. I don't want to shield bash, I'll move away. This is something tricky. A lot of times you have one enemy step in front of the other, kind of like we talked about in DDO, where all the enemies are running around and getting in your way. And since you're shooting at whatever's directly in front of you, some other enemies might run in front of you when you're trying to shoot one in particular. So what you should always do in that situation is just move yourself, let them commit to coming up and pulling up to attack you. Just slide to the side or strafe to the side or use your shift and teleport or dodge ability to the side and then pick the target you want. And of course, I took damage here, your health regen gives me hit points back. So as long as you can make it through the combat fight, you'll be okay. Most gamers will just run through this and don't even pay attention. The little subtle details I'm talking about, as we play through the campaign, which we're going to do later tonight, you'll find that it makes a lot more of a difference. You get where, like, even if I don't have great gear, my ability to play the game properly and understand what I'm seeing will help me stay alive longer. He used to be like a Chode character, like some dumb fighter who would run forward and shoot the same exact thing. And now they have this Makos guy. What are they called? What are the tieflings or some shit? Oh, fuck, I don't remember. Okay, the Harbinger guy. This is, you can read his animations, and he does. But he got a big health bar. He's pulling me in. So he's got a point blank area effect ability at his feet. This is his big old health bar. All the bosses in the game will have a big old health bar like this. You can get him to pull up and do an animation, but it's not advertised with a red marker, right? And if you look over my name, Donegal Tall Plant, right? So hit me, knock me down. You see the little red marker right here? This is aggro. This is an aggro meter, so I can tell how much I got full aggro, right? If I was playing a healer or I was playing a DPSer, I can get an idea of how much aggro I have based on how the coloration on that little pip. And there's a tutorial in the city that will teach you all this. So this is just an animation. Okay, let's go ahead and start damaging this guy. We'll pop with the snare ability, start doing some auto attacks on him a little bit. I'm going to use the snare ability, my leap ability, to get away from that point blank area effect attack. And he's got a decent amount of health. It's going to take a little while. You can shift over here and just keep popping him, damaging him. Don't let him hit me, right? You turn this way, leap away. And we pop with the snare ability. Use our shift ability to shift back. Now he's immune to being snared or rooted, but it still does good damage. You just shift over here. We've got him half dead. Put the snare ability on him again. That does more damage. Keep moving away from the animation. The pull-in ability, just shift out of that so that doesn't hit us. And just keep popping him because he's really slow moving. But this is a tutorial, right? This is giving you a chance to see, like, even if you get hit, you're not going to die, right? But later on you will. Let's let him hit us. Ugh, look, I didn't hardly take any damage. But normally in the game, because this isn't a tutorial, you're not having a problem here. I'm pressing backwards and shifting to slide away backwards. Great. Okay, so he's dead. Easy enough. Money drops on the ground. Pick it up. Money and stuff will always show up over here. It's only 39 cents. That's not very much money. So this is going to give just this video, I've talked about 90 concepts of things to think about, things you need to do. Right? We're over here, this guy, interact with him. We've got delete bound to interaction key. And it's going to warp us to Protector's Enclave and give us the first quest in the main town and some introductory quests in the game. So we're going to stop this video here and we're going to start playing through the first campaign and leveling this character up. There'll be one video per campaign, right? The next video is going to cover all the things you need to do at the first few in-town tutorial crap before you go do the first campaign. So let's hand this in. Remember, we're supposed to get some gloves for this.
Welcome
there we go.
to Protector's Enclave, adventurer. Celeste and I need to speak with Lord Neverwinter about Valindra's attack.
Okay.
You should meet Sergeant Knox in the Adventurers Guild.
So we don't want to talk to him anymore. And she's just hanging around doing nothing, staring blankly into space. So he wants you to go to the Adventurers Guild. I'm going to turn this back to the default level. Did we get a piece of gear as a reward? We're going to hit B for our backpack. We haven't got anything yet. You can drag this and pull this down, make this a little bigger if you want to. Let's pull this up here, make this a little bigger. And our next objective is to meet with Sergeant Knox. Sergeant Knox has been the quest giver motherfucker forever. Sometimes he's up here. There's someone with a horse. Cool, we're going to get one here in like 1 minute. Sometimes he's here. All right, at this point in the tutorial, he's not here yet. He's in this adventurers/guild building, which follow the little golden sparkles, and that'll lead you right to it. But we're in a multiplayer area, so you can see from a distance these are other players, all level 20. King Leonidas, that's a great name. That's a cool mount, and people are having a good time, right? People have companion pets, and once again, the white sparkles, doorway, interactive object, right? The colored ones, the gold and blue, is a trail on the ground telling you where to go. Now, this is something I want to talk about real quick. You'll sometimes see that the trail sends you somewhere, but that's not what your objective is. The objective right now is actually go speak to Sergeant Knox. But the sparkles, they're going up this way. And so it's a little bit clunky. You're like, wait a minute, if I just follow the sparkles, this is going to... Oh, it stopped. And now it's going back down It's a Sergeant Knox. So it's kind of like, what the hell? I mean, little details like that matter for a brand new player. So we're going to talk to him.
Protector's Enclave needs your help.
When they have something in orange like this, that's kind of like the hand-in. The question mark is kind of the hand-in element. So we're going to do this. We're going to get those gloves he promised us, and we'll complete it. I get level 2 for free. I'm going to take the next quest, which is called Training Day. 2 silver isn't that much money. We're going to hit our backpack, double left click to equip these. Great, now we've got some crappy gloves on.
I've arranged a few things.
He's going to keep talking, blah, blah, blah. There's another player called Nixara, and this character's name is Necker. So that's a companion.
I'm sure you can still
He
learn
wants
a
me
thing
to
or
talk
two,
to the
and
mount
a
bender.
new skill is worth its weight in gold.
So later on, we're going to have all kinds of cool mounts and cool companions and stuff. So we're going over to Brendan Cantor and talk to him.
Good man, that Sergeant Knox.
This guy was born in
Lord
Fitzgerald,
Neverwinter
Georgia.
has decreed.
So you get 2 choices between free mounts, a Waterdeep horse and a Sabino horse. I'm just going to pick the Sabino horse. So left click to select it. See the little blue highlight? That's this one selected, right? This is this one selected. And we're going to buy it. We have 1 token. We're going to buy this. We didn't spend any real money. He gave us a token. So we're going to hit finished, or you can hit escape. This little pip here is showing us you've got something in your collection. Holy shit, alert the media. So you got a mount. Going to hit B, open up our little backpack, and double left click. But looking at this, what does it say? Combat power, blast out damage at nearby enemies, magnitude 583, 3.5% movement speed, 1575 combined rating. Okay. So when you have mounts, they have abilities that you can use, and they're called a mount ability. Duh. The magnitude is how powerful it is. The higher your item level, the higher your power, the higher your crit severity, the more the magnitude fixed number will actually have a bigger effect. The equip power, by equipping this horse, I'm going to gain 3.5% base movement speed, right? And I'm basically going to put it in my stable and make it my main mount because it's the only horse I have. Combined rating is like, if your class is a dex-based class or wisdom-based class or charisma-based class and you're not blocking or your dodge isn't high, combined rating, from the way I understand it, benefits your other non-primary abilities. And it has 3 little sockets, a regal, enlightened, empty, and other enlightened. So this is just a basic horse. So we're going to double-click it. It's going to add it to our stable. This is the explosive equalizer ability to blast it out enemies, and we're going to get fast striding, which gave a little bit of movement speed. So we equipped that, but it didn't make it just went tick. There was no sound. Like, well, what happened? So hit C for your character sheet, or if you want to, you can hit H. I like to use H or C. And then let's go up here to hit C. Let's go to our character, and we see appearance. We have no weird appearance stuff. If we wanted to hide our armor or something like that, we could do that, run around a shirt and take our shirt off. So now we look buff. And then we can go over here to mounts, right? Oh, okay. So our appearance mount is this horse we just got. He has explosive equalizer as an ability. Fast striding gives us a little bit movement speed and combined rating, and gallop is the speed of the mount and how much damage you can take before he gets dismounted. So we can bind a key to it. We bound a key before to F12, so there's our mount. So when we're outside and we use the mount key, we'll mount up. Now we can't mount in here, so you can't check it out, which is kind of a weird place. If he had been outside and said, hey, I got a cool mount for you, then you could equip it right away. Let me just show you the mount real quick. So once again, white sparkles, interactive object. I have the music turned off, I hear too. So you get this little crappy mount, hit F12 to summon him out of nowhere, and you got this horse with this mottled kind of brindle look on him. And if you stand still, if you press backwards, he turns around. Right goes right, left goes left, forward goes forward. The bow on my back is just a string. It's some kind of a bug with the ranger class. I just ride around with a bowstring on my back. And if I hit jump, he'll rear up, which is kind of cool. I got my cool Michael Jackson gloves on. Holy shit, we're awesome now. So this poor blind horse doesn't know where he's going. We get F12 to unbind, to jump off of him. If we hit F12 again, we'll get back on him. If we're in combat, that F12 button will be used to do the mount ability, right? And so you can look at the mount and look at this and say, what is this? Blast out damage at nearby enemies. So if I'm in a combat situation, I can use my mount ability to do like a spell and do almost like a fireball spell near me while I'm fighting. Every mount has different abilities. They're going to have all kinds of things we can do to make them better. Excuse me. You can look in your stable and say, "Oh wow, we don't have any collars. We're ultimately going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mounts, and you want to get like the best quality mounts in the game. They have the coolest abilities, and you're going to put insignias in here to make them do more damage. And so this guy has this insignias here, and I don't have any insignias to put in. We're going to get them over the leveling up campaign, but this is part of character power. So you'll see you can collect any mount you want for the power, but you can always make the visual appearance of the mount be whichever you think is the coolest. All right, we're going to come in here, mount up, and go into here. Remember, in DDO, it would automatically remount you when you come back out, but it doesn't do that here. All right, our next step is to complete the combat training in the training room. Okay, little level design thing here. I want to share this with you. When you come into this building with its crappy lighting, some of the worst lighting in the game, the rest of the game's not bad, you'll sometimes see like a little flicker happen on your screen. There's like zone portals in this area. So sometimes you'll be running around and your whole screen will like flicker for a second. You're like, what was that? So don't worry about it. It's just the way they portaled off this entryway here. All right, so complete the combat training in the training room. So what's very tricky about this is, once again, you see this sparkle bit trail go up here, and we actually see interactive books, interactive objects in the world that we can interact with. These are just little lore books. You can hit Q and read. This is all the lore of Neverwinter. If you're a big hardcore D&D Forgotten Realms fan, everything you'd ever want to know about the Forgotten Realms is right there. But this is what we want to come talk to, this little Palantir crystal ball. This is going to teach us some basic abilities and basic ways to play that I've already told you about, but it's going to be with this instructor. Remember, if you were damaged, fireplace like there with a blue rune around it, it's going to give you a health regeneration while you're standing in. Okay, what does he want us to do?
Welcome to your own personal demi-plane, courtesy of Tarhun's magic. With your trainer's help,
okay.
I'll shape you.
Okay, so he wants me to do the first objective. Now what you can do is he's going to spawn some anonymous enemy, and we got to use the mouse button forward to dodge incoming attacks, right? That means not just get hit. So let's try to dodge when he starts doing an ability, right? We're waiting for him to try to hit us and dodge out of the way. That got 1 of 3. So you can shoot him all you want, but you're not going to kill this guy. You need him to start an attack and then dodge out of the way.
Just before the enemy strikes.
Do it 3 times. It's completed. It despawns. Now go talk to him.
Fine work. Next, you'll need to understand how to gain
combat advantage. Yes. That's what I was trying to remember earlier. Combat advantage is kind of like sneak attack.
Putting your foe in between you and an ally.
So, if you remember Pathfinder 2nd Edition, if you ever watched any of my Pathfinder videos, do you remember how much I bitched and complained about attack of opportunity and how they did flanking and their flanking rules? Like in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, to be able to flank, let's say the Conjured Fighter is my ally, this is the enemy, the other Conjured Fighter, the Illusion. In Pathfinder 2nd Edition, I can't attack this guy from this angle and get a flanking bonus because it doesn't draw a line of sight trace between him and an ally. So see the little orange little reverse arrows? That's called combat advantage, okay?
Well done. Keep in mind that your foes can flank you as well. Do what you can to watch your back. Don't let yourself get surrounded. Now, next lesson.
All right, let's go to the next one.
As a ranger, your mastery of simple enough, eh?
Okay, so he wants us to talk about combat stances. Now, at this point, you're like, what? What are you talking about? What do you mean combat stances? I don't know nothing about no combat. What's a combat stance? Is that like a warrior in WoW? Am I a protection warrior? Like, it's confusing. This class here has a combat stance. You see this ability here? Range stance. And if we hit this ability, we bound it to the number pad 7. We go into a melee stance. Did you see how we pull the weapons out? We start ready to fight. And our main attacks change into melee abilities, right? So now we switch back and forth. We can shoot our bow. If we had a target, we can shoot our bow. We can hit melee stance and go melee stance. So now you have 2 sets of abilities. So in the Ranger class, when you look at your powers, see for your character sheet, go to the power tab, you left click on rapid shot, right? And in fact, let me go back to this first. Hit F7, not F7, but home 7, number pad 7. Okay, now we can look at our powers, our abilities, and go to the first one. So our first ability, rapid shot, quickly shoots an arrow, left click it once. It shows you what the attached or melee stance associated ability is if you switch to melee stance as an at-will power, right? So that one becomes Rapid Strike, and this one here, which is Split Shot, remember the green thing that tapered in? That becomes Split Strike. So this is where you go, okay, what do these abilities do? Well, you can release the mouse with the middle mouse button like we talked about. We bound a key to that, remember? And we can go and we can take a step forward, switch to melee stance, click the middle mouse button, and we can see, okay, quickly dash forward, striking enemies in front of you. Sounds like a frontal cone thing. Rapid Strike. Strike your target at close range. The fourth hit of the combo has enhanced magnitude. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. He even goes, rawr. Listen to him. Rawr. So is the same thing happen with our bow ability? No, it doesn't. It just shoots and shoots and shoots, right? And this one here, spray of air, dealing more damage the longer you focus. Remember, it's about holding this ability and trying to shoot it. All right, let's see what the next thing is for him to teach us.
Done. I see real potential in you.
Okay, this is the mount ability. Use your mount active power. See the little arrow pip down here? So when we are close to an enemy and in range, and we start fighting this guy, it turns into an ability. Remember the ability before, what we talked about was Explosive Equalizer, right? This will blast out damage. You can use this ability out of range. Boom. And so there's some of these abilities that do big area effects. They blow everything up on screen. It's like a trinket. Think about, and the mount power can be changed based upon which mount you have equipped. It doesn't have to be associated with the mount you have as visual. Okay, action points. All right, so they already gave us action points, so we can see we got these daily powers. Seismic Shot, fire concussive blast into the ground, causing a shockwave that pulls enemies and damage towards them. And this one here is slip into the forest, remain unseen for 5 seconds. So you generated enough power, they gave you the power, you can use one of these abilities. Let's use the stealth ability. We can go unseen, and we can do damage as we run by things. So read the ability. This one's quite interesting, right? Slip into the forest where you remain unseen for 5 seconds. While hidden, you automatically strike a foe within 15 feet. Right? So it says 250 times 4. And you're going to get a lot of these. When you go to C and hit your powers, as you level up, we're going to get more. You can see what some of them are going to be in the future. You can see how some of your mechanics, the shift one is a passive. Grasping Roots, some of your abilities apply that. So read these things, get used to going, okay, well, how does this work for this character, right?
Well done indeed.
Okay, we finished this little tutorial thing. Let's get out of here. Basically what you do is you turn around and come back to this little glowing Palantir / little crystal ball, and then we'll be back in the Protector's Enclave. Let's go back and talk to Sergeant Knox and hand this in.
Protector's Enclave.
Okay, you're eager.
That's good.
You should, whether you're unsure what to do, check your journal, look for adventures in the area. Thank you. Okay. Training day is complete. We'll take some cash as a reward. Okay, grave news. Pick this up immediately. Don't take anything else. We're going to do, in the next video, we're going to do the Never Death Graveyard little campaign. And we start that off by talking to Doom Guide Volhawk, or whatever you call his name. So we're going to go to a zone. It's going to have like 10, 15, 20 quests, an hour and a half of gameplay. And at the end, we're going to get a bunch of rewards, right? So let's accept this. And I'm going to hit F9 to get him to shut up. And we're going to hit Q, and we can see now we have this quest called Grave News. Travel to Never Death Graveyard and talk to Doom Guide Volok. And they tell you what's going on. The reward's going to be copper, right? But when you are doing campaigns in the game, right, in this quest journal, let's go to the far right little kind of ribbon here, and you can see there's adventures and there's campaigns. So there's all these campaigns you'll get to do, and they have item level requirements that they suggest you're at, right? You really need to be item level 20,000 to do Rothy Valley, et cetera, et cetera. And there's adventures. Like right now, the current world is this Icebreaker one, which is happening in the brand new like Icewind Dale time called, it's like Reghead Edge. When you have adventures, these are called leveling adventures. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. Each one of these takes like an hour, hour and a half. This one here has 18 quests in it, and we're going to travel. And when we complete the whole thing, it's a leveling adventure. We're going to get some money, gold. We're going to get 10,000 rough astral diamonds that we can convert into refined astral diamonds that will allow us to buy stuff off the auction house, even buy stuff from some of the vendors, etc. We're going to get stone health, 50 charges. It will instantly heal you to full health, and we're going to get these divine injury kits. When you get killed and die, you get like an injury, like a broken leg or a shattered rib bone or a busted jaw, and you got to use an injury kit to get rid of it, or it compromises your ability to, to fight and play. All right, so I'm going to stop here. Long video. We're going to go to the next area and do the first campaign from beginning to end with our Donegal tall pipe motherfucker. All right, you stuck with me so far. I know we're getting to a lot of little details in the beginning. Things will get faster and faster, but in the very, very beginning, there's a lot of subtle details that most people don't understand and aren't taught very well. Let's go ahead and jump in the next video and do a campaign together, and then we'll get some gear. We'll be able to see how the world works. We'll see how some of the combat works, and things will start getting harder and more interesting, and it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll talk to you in the next video, all right? Leave a comment, and if there's anything I said that's stupid and wrong, you can correct me, man. I don't care, as long as it's cool. All right, take care. We'll talk to you soon.